Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Over the years, I have used different seasoning agents and put them together and created a seasoning mix, which I called it Basic Seasoning Mix. And you can take a look at this video and it describes how I create this seasoning mix. Now, recently, I put this seasoning mix on Amazon, available for people who want to try it. And you will be able to find a link to Amazon below this video. And of course, you can try. If you like it, you can use this video and find out what the components in the seasoning mix, and you can create your own. And now, since then, somebody asked me the question, what is the best way to season your stir fry? Should you use a seasoning mix like the one I have, or should you use sauces? Now, it turned out that there's really no good answer to this question because really this doesn't matter what approach that you take, whether you use dry seasoning agents or use sauces. And the ultimate judge is whether you like what you create. And if you like what you've done, then this is probably the best for you. And of course, there are also some other considerations, mainly nutritional considerations, and I will address all this topic in this video. A flavor is very personalized and there are different ways to flavor a dish. However, there are some guidelines that usually help us to decide what type of flavor that we want to use. Our flavor change from time to time, and over a period of time, we might prefer some flavor over the others. So it is necessary to keep in mind that it is not a just standstill phenomenon, rather it is a changeable landscape. Now, when it comes to flavor, there are one important basic determination whether you will use dry flavoring agents or you will use a sauce. Now, you will use a dry flavoring or seasoning agent when you cook a dish that do not require sauce. For example, when you cook eggs, which normally do not have a sauce, and in this case, you probably want to use dry seasoning agents because you do not want to add sauce to the egg that you cook. The other example is also when you say shallow fry something that you want the ingredients stay dry. And in this case, obviously, it is better to use a seasoning agent that is dry. A fried rice is another example that frequently used to decide whether you use a dry seasoning agent or you use a sauce. A lot of time, if you want the fried rice to stay more or less dry, then you will want to use a dry seasoning agent. However, there are many dishes that has a sauce. In this case, it really doesn't matter whether you use dry seasoning agent or you use a sauce. In this situation, the sauce probably is more convenient, and you can choose from different type of sauces to use. As we have discussed in previous video, is that you can use some basic sauces such as oyster sauce and hoisin sauce. Both of these sauces are valuable for creating sauces in a wide variety of dishes that require sauce, and they will form the foundation for the flavoring. And then you can add other sauces which pre-made specifically for certain type of dishes, such as sauces for teriyaki flavor, a sauce for orange flavor, a sauce for sweet and sour, and a sauce for kung pao chicken. In many ways, sauces are really no different from using dry seasoning agent. The main difference is that for your convenience, the manufacturer creates a sauce they already contain the seasoning agents that are responsible for make up the sauce. And then they add other ingredients to the sauce. For example, they add cornstarch to create a thickening agent. So when you add the sauce to your stir-fry dish, it will create an instant sauce for you. And so when you cook a stir-fry dish, when you season it, the rule of thumb is actually quite simple, whether you should use dry seasoning agents or use a sauce. Now, if you want the dish to be without a sauce, then you definitely should use a dry seasoning agent. However, if you plan to create a sauce for the stir-fry dish, then it really doesn't matter whether you use a dry seasoning agent or use a sauce. In most cases, the sauce is more convenient, but it does not prevent you from combining the dry seasoning agent with the sauce. However, there one situation that dry seasoning agent is absolutely required is that if you want to, say, do shallow frying and you want to coat the food ingredients with cornstarch and seasoning. Now, in this case, obviously, you cannot use a sauce. You have to use a dry seasoning agent. The basic seasoning is definitely one of the approaches to use for coating the ingredients with cornstarch as well as a dry seasoning agent. However, you can use different combinations of dry seasoning agents as I have shown here in my masala dabba. And in fact, sometimes when I use my own basic seasoning mix, I also make further adjustment by adding a different amount of the dry seasoning agents to the cornstarch mixture. Of course, you can create a sauce all from scratch using dry seasoning agents. In this case, all you have to do is to use the dry seasoning agent to create the flavor that you want, and then you make a sauce using cornstarch and water. And for the purists, that is probably the best approach to create exactly the flavor how you would like your dish to be. However, this would take more time and it's probably take a little bit more expertise and practice. You really have to know your seasoning agents very well and understand not just the flavor by themselves and how they combine with other seasoning agents to create a composite flavor profile. And then you also need some practice of how to create a sauce with the kind of thickness that you want with a cornstarch water suspension or adding cornstarch directly to the dish. This definitely is more labor intensive and more challenging, and this is the reason why many people resorted to use pre-made sauces. However, pre-made sauces, despite their advantages in convenience, they have some disadvantages as well. First and foremost is that you do not know exactly what is in the pre-made sauces, even though they provide you a list of ingredients that are present, but it's never be quite precise. And secondly is that when you use pre-made sauces, it always contains the sodium, and the sodium amount might be more than you want to tolerate. And sometimes when they combine with sugar, you actually might not taste the effect of the sodium on you until you have consumed your food. To enhance the flavor of the sauce to make it more complete as a seasoning agent, many of them has added sugar and some of them have high fructose corn syrup. And if you do not like to have added sugar into your food, then you might not want to use sauces, or you need to be very careful to find out how much sugar that is present in the sauce. As always, everything has a trade-off. The trade-off convenience is that you lack of control. However, if you want the convenience and you don't mind the ingredients that are present in those sauces, then sauces is definitely the way to go. And by mixing different kind of sauces, you can create a wide variety of flavor that are unique to your personal preference. However, like everything else, moderation is the best. There's no reason that you should not combine the sauces with the seasoning agents. You can use a moderate amount of each one of them, and you can compensate by adding different sauces in combination of dry seasoning agents. My basic seasoning mix is designed for this purpose. I created this basic seasoning mix that will allow me to combine it with different sauces if I have to, or by using it just alone. I hope this video gave you some guidance of how to flavor your stir-fry dishes using dry seasoning agent as well as sauces. Personally, I use various combinations of both of them to give me the greatest possibilities as well as flexibilities in create the flavor that I want. And with this approach, you will find that you can create almost any flavor that you will like. And this is the significant aspect of my fast cooking system in the sense of flavor chasing. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. If you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.